Hello everyone, this is Johannes.
And this is Cinema.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And today we are taking a look at Thebai.
We are. This is a review copy we got from Board & Dice, so thank you so much for that. As always, we're going to start jumping into the overview of this game. If you're looking for a theme, first of all, I don't think there's a lot of theme in this game. And also, if you are new to this channel, we don't talk a lot about theme. We are very much mechanical people. We do enjoy a good theme, but like in Euro games like this, I would forget that there even is like a theme here when I play it. There's like someone attacking something and I'm placing tiles to do actions. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yes, but we are not robots or cyborgs. You said we
true.
were mechanical people.
Oh.
We're not like farm mechanics either.
We're not. Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
We're not actually robots. We are actual people. So with that said, let's talk about this game. Thebai is a dice placement, action selection, building things and fighting people game. That's a new, it says under it like on mechanisms, it says all of those things. So in this game, you're going to have 10 turns. On your turn, you are going to place a die. When you place a die, let's say I have this die over here, I can either place it in one of my available spots on my estate board, or I can place it out here adjacent to at least one of these Cadmei, I think is the name of them tiles. I actually didn't Google that. I was thinking of Googling what Cadmei is. I don't know what it is. So when I place it, I'll be able to do one of the actions. If I pay coins, number of coins is the number of the die, I will be able to do both of those actions. When I place over here, I will be able to do that action. What you will be doing is that you will be gaining resources, you will be placing out these, and when you place them, you might get bonuses if you match these colors. You will be getting those resources, as I said, so that you can trade in those resources to do contracts. You will be placing hoplites so that you can defend against these people attacking you, because they're bad people. They're coming in to attack you while you're trying peacefully to build up these tiles and score victory points. And you're like, no, stop attacking me. So that is the first part of the game. After that, or your turn. After that, you are going to move your Archon tile, and they can move over a dice, and they can move once during your turn over an empty spot if you pay a coin. When you move over a die, if it is somebody else's die, it's going to upgrade. So this one now is a 1 star or 1+, which we have ended up calling it. It upgrades to a 2. It then goes to 2 star, a 3 star. What happens after that, I will tell you soon. But if I go over one of my own dice, which I will try not to do because it will be downgraded. When your die ascends, so if it's a citizen die, which is the ones you place for doing actions, it will go over to this board right here, and you will score some points. And this is how you unlock some end of game scoring. So
that means when it's 3+ and
yes,
it's
and
upgraded.
Yeah. That's true, thank you. And then it will go on to one of those spots. If you upgrade a hoplit, you will get one of these special cards, commanders, if you are the first person to play your strategical tile over on the row where you are adjacent to. After every round, you are going to do a fate tile. Those fate tiles might be different bonuses, different scorings. Some of them are going to be, you're going to see them at the beginning of the game. The first two is always going to be the same. After that, it's going to be random, but it's going to be not random the order. So after the first two, it's going to be a combat, non-combat, combat, non-combat until the end of the game. And you will see the next 5 things that are happening. You'll always know the next place where a combat is happening. Very briefly, combat is resolved by the first round. The combat strength is 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. You will flip the card. It might have a +1, or it might have not a +1. Most of them doesn't. And you will then see if you have enough strength to defeat them. If you have, great. If you don't have, you will lose some points. If you're not even in the combat, you will lose even more points. And then if you have excess strength, you will get bonus points. You will get some bonuses for that. You will basically get some bonuses if you are in the combat. If you're not in the combat, you will lose stuff. And that is basically what you're going to do after 10 rounds. Also, you move on tracks, because it's a Euro game, so you need to move on tracks. I love tracks. When you move on the tracks, you get different bonuses, upgrading things, unlocking up special abilities, scoring points. And also getting these extra worker tiles that you can use also on your board one time throughout the game. After 10 rounds, the player who has the most points, which is the points you get through the game, and these final scorings, and some set collection from the colors of these contract cards, because you can only complete one of them each round. That was a long overview. But that is also mostly what you do in the game. So with that out of the way, let's talk about what matters.
Yeah,
The game.
let's start talking about the how you actually do actions, because the dice placement or like the action selection is pretty interesting, especially that you have two areas you can place your dice, both on your player board and also on the main board. And the higher dice sometimes matter, but not always. For example, here, no matter what
They
number,
tell you?
yes,
No matter what they say.
no matter what your level is, you will do the same thing. But here, the number on the die lets you do a greater action. So you might want to save your greater dice for the actions that actually matter for that, or do something in the beginning to upgrade your dice and then make them better for later actions, for example.
But then you don't want your super dice here because you want them here so they can
Yes.
actually ascend, because
Right.
dice here cannot ascend. And also I enjoy the unlocking of abilities. So you're not going to build all the buildings, and all of these kind of have like a focus, so you're kind of choosing like a path to go through or go down kind of. But also it might be a position where it's like, okay, I'm going to build something on the board. I really want to upgrade unlock this action, but this ability is very important for me to get out on the board, and these are the colors I need right now. These are the same one, but let's say I really need the brown. I have to put this out so I can do the brown action. So it's a lot of things to think about, and it was surprising because I knew this was not going to be like the heaviness of like a Tavantin Suyu from David Tursi. But the first time I played this, I was very overwhelmed.
Oh, yeah,
so just
me
so you
too.
know, even like we are used to playing heavier games, but from the second time, it was like, oh, okay, it's not that complicated. Still things to think about, but it is. I would say like it's not a super heavy game.
No, I would not say that. And also the symbols are very intuitive once you get into them. I didn't find that particularly hard either. But for me, the first time around, I was sitting with like the player rate, which by the way is pretty good in this game.
Yes.
And because your turn consists of sometimes
steps.
pretty many steps, and I was just like, I've done this, and then my brain just stopped because I couldn't remember the next step, because there is many moving parts in this game.
It is.
But I like also that, yes, as you said, you want your high dice on the board so that the other players will jump over them and ascend them. You didn't explain how you get new dice, I think.
Basically, when you have no dice left, you get your dice back and you get a new die depending on if you have emptied a row or a column, you will get a better die. So the interaction here is interesting. Like you're trying to place your die. There's many different pots to go down. Like we have played games where people are placing loads of dice out here and trying to get them ascended. But there might be if somebody's going very focusing on they're doing actions here, not placing too many and just doing a little bit here and there. And if more people are doing that, it's going to be harder to move these around.
That's true.
So that interaction is interesting. And also it's like, okay, is it worth it for me to pay the coin that I really need to stop you from getting there? There's options of, do I want to help you? Oh, this is already pretty soon to ascending. Do I want to get that out there now? All of that is very, very cool. It's a very combo-heavy game. As you kind of alluded to, like it's one where it's cascading actions. Like you will do a thing. I do this action. That lets me pay a grape to move on there. When I move up there, I get to upgrade this. Oh, that ascended the die. No, it goes there. I got those victory points. Okay, where was I? It's not like a one. It's not where you will get an action, which gives you another action, which gives you another action, which gives you another action. But you are trying, as in all of these games, fewer turns, trying to squeeze out the most things as possible.
Yes, you only have like 20 actions, one die action and one arcane action each turn. So those bonus things that you get to do is very important. Also, when talking about interaction, all of these buildings are a little different from player to player, and the order they are in is also different from game to game. That means also that the board and what actions are available on the board will be different from time to time. Well, not widely different, but if I need this ability, if you unlock that, that will be available for everyone, basically.
I would say like the variability, I would say is pretty high. Because you say like, and it is true what you say, that it's not like a highly different thing, But in some games, it might be super easy to get resources, for example.
Yeah.
Another game, it might be very hard. So like in a game where it's like easy to get resources, you might go, okay, I'm gonna focus on contracts now.
Yes.
Because you can manage to complete at least at maximum of 10 contracts, but you can also complete like 2. And you still can win the game. One game I completed 10 contracts. Another one I completed like 1 in the beginning and I did like 2 in the end. You also did that last time we played. You can focus heavily on combat. Last time I played, I hadn't done like a full combat strategy. So I tried to do that. And also the fate tiles that comes up will kind of tell you what is good to score, because these are going to have different scorings on them. So depending on what comes up, you will also be able to like pivot. But like there is different ways to go. I don't think you can ignore combat 100%.
No, because you get a lot of negative points, especially towards the end of the game, because for each strength that you're missing, which is maximum 5 strength, is going to score you -3 points. So that's potentially a lot of negative points, and it's sometimes it's very simple to get something out there to defend. It could be, we've had games where a lot of the combats have been adjacent to each other, which means that if you have a die, for example, here between these two, this will defend for 2 combats, which makes the combat strategy easier to kind of do down low or to go heavy for.
And I also think it's interesting because sometimes you don't want your dice to ascend.
That's true.
Like for example, there might be a scoring that scores your points for every number you have on the board.
Yes.
Or let's say I have a 3+ here, doesn't really matter, a 3+ there, and there's a combat now in 5 and then it's in 4.
Yeah.
And if somebody then goes, boop, I can't go there because I'm there, let's go there, boop, then this turns into a stratego tile, and I have to choose which of these I have to defend with that stratego tile. So it has some kind of that interaction as well. So I would say player count-wise, we have played all player counts. I feel like they all work very well. I would say that probably, as in most big Euro games, that goes to 4, that 3 is the sweet spot.
Yes.
Because the interaction is good with 4 and it's good with 3. With 2, it works like... Do you feel like there's a difference between a 3 and a 4 player for you?
No, not very much. It really depends anyways on how much the players does on the main board. But of course, with 4 players, there is a higher chance that more things will happen on the board. If you're 3 players and nobody is focusing on the board, that might be like a little weird feeling. But you can do stuff to make that happen.
Absolutely. In a 2-player game, it adds a tiny bit of luck. There's not a lot of luck in this game. After you set up, like it's a random setup of the tiles, so which might change like a little bit of your strategy. Maybe if you know the game very well, you can look at it and be like, okay, this time this is the best path to go. But I would say that other than the 0 and 1 here, there's not any luck in the game when you play it with multiplayer.
Also, like kind of luck of the draw.
You have a display
of contracts you can take. But I had one time where I was desperately looking for a green one to complete my set, because it's set collection, and I didn't get any. So you can't be lucky or unlucky there.
2-player game adds a tiny element of luck. Before you do the fate tile, the event, you're going to flip one of these cards. It's going to show a column. All dice in that column, so you see like it's going to be like this, is going to be upgraded. Which means that it's in a 2-player game, you might be, maybe I shouldn't do a 3-star for this now, because then suddenly the random player, like this is like a player, will then ascend it at the end of the round before I score it or something like that. And also it's going to have a tile that is going to be colored in. And if there is a tile there, you're going to put a little marker there, which is basically blocking, but also you can move over it. So it simulates it being a 3rd player in the game. It's a tiny little thing. It didn't bother me at all. I think the 2-player game is really good, but it is there. So if you are luck averse, just know that is there. With that said, Are you ready for some final thoughts?
Yes, I am.
Do it! I'm excited.
I like Thebai.
Yes.
I didn't think that I expected much from it from before, other than I expect good things in general.
So what you're trying to say is that you didn't have any like expectations
No,
going
I
into
was just
it.
like, oh, this is.
Yes.
I
It
didn't.
just sounded like you were saying you didn't have high hopes. That's what it sounded like.
No, okay. No, I just didn't have any like expectations.
I just wanted to be. I thought because I thought that was what you meant. I just
Yes,
wanted to be sure.
you are correct. And I was pleasantly surprised of the mechanism that it presents, and also how it like explores those mechanisms. I've seen, for example, these Ascension of Dice mechanism before, for example, in Teotihuacan.
Yeah.
But here it's different.
Yes.
And also, I like how you have. It's so weird that 10 turns can be like so brain meltingly like long. It's not a super long game, but
It's pretty long.
kind of
It's pretty long. It was almost 3 hours with 4 players the first time.
Okay,
And
so
we
it's a
played
long game.
3 players, but the first time was very long.
Yeah.
But it was 2.5 hours with 3 players, and 2 had played before. 2-player game around 90 minutes, so it's not a short game.
Yeah, but it is a game that you feel like every decision matters because you have so few turns. You only have 10 turns. So it's a very... I like the brain work I have to do because I'm just like, okay, not this round, but next turn, it's going to be a combat. So that means that I have basically 2 chances to get something out in the combat before that happens. Okay, is that worth it? Or should I go down another path? Or I have 1 die left before I'm out of dice and I'm going to get them all back. Am I going to use my last action before that to free this space up so I can have a better dice when I get dice back? So there's many different possibilities to go for here, and also you try to send dice into the final scoring as well. So you want to look at actually what's available, and maybe also look at what the other players are going for to see if you're likely to get that scoring before them or not. So, and also the tracks are really interesting. You can choose to focus heavily on them or not.
Yeah.
As you said, some games have been very easy to move up on the tracks, and some games have not been, but it's a very cool way to get better dice and also more bonus actions. So yeah, I like all the options that the game presents, and I have fun while I play it. I'm going to rate it at a 7.5. I think it's a really solid game.
I think Thebai is a great game. I have a lot of fun while I play it. I really enjoy the puzzle of where to place my die. And also I really enjoy how I can get a pretty different gaming experience from going very different paths. Like one game I tried to focus heavily on just upgrading this. Like as fast as I could, get them out there so I can get them out early. I have the first picks. You can only have 1 in each. You're trying to like get first in there so you can get the most possible points. I really enjoy the puzzle of moving with the Archon. I enjoy thinking, okay, do I really want to go into this fight? Oh, it's a 4 and then it's a 5. If I'm not going into combat, I'm just going to place a die there so I will get the fewest negative points as I can. The order of things you do. There is still parts I haven't tried. Like the last 2 times I played, I almost didn't move on the tracks at all. The first time I moved heavily on the tracks, and as you said, like there's different routes depending on both what the other players do, what is available, and what kind of strategy you want to go for. All that in all gives a great crunch that I am enjoying to play, and I would like to explore more. For me, this is going to be an 8, a great game that I highly enjoyed. And that's going to be the end. Thank you so much for watching. If you are still here, you can
subscribe.
Do it now. And we'll see you next time. I'm Johannes.
I'm Cinema.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye-bye.